I am the Highland scribe Cheryl L. Hudson, storyteller. I am about to begin. Are you ready? I am the Highland scribe, scribe to the stones, to the winds, to the bloodlines that walk unseen. Come closer, closer still. You see, the fire's warm, but this tale tonight, well, this tale runs wild. Now it was the year of 1783, and the mists hung low over the moors near the village of Inverbranach, a remote hamlet in the Highlands, where the people were poor but proud, and their ways were older than the old kirk that lay lopsided at the edge of the village. Now, there was a boy of 16 summers, and his name was Tam McCrae, and he lived with his widowed mother in a sodden croft just beyond the burn. Tam was curious, clever, and just a little bit too bold for his own good. And Tam had little patience for the old tales, and even less for warnings whispered around peat fires. One late autumn, a group of travelling folk set up camp near the edge of the woods, and among them was a man. He was tall, with short silvery coloured hair and strange pale blue eyes. His name was Duncan Stewart. Now, he made charms from ruins and iron, and it was said that he knew the ways of the living and the dead. Tam, at the age of 16 and being ever so curious, well, he struck up a friendship with Duncan. The traveller saw potential in the boy, but he also sensed a danger. There was a reckless gleam in Tam's eyes. And one day, after a hard frost had silvered the land, Tam was standing with his peers and boasting about the old kirkyard, and he foolishly made a boast about going in to bring back a stone from one of the ancient moss-grown graves. Now, you see, this graveyard, well, it had been closed for over 100 years now, and not one person in the village would dare step foot into it, especially after dark. They said the ground itself seemed to whisper, especially near the black stone that had no name. It just lay up against the ruined walls of the kirk. Tam ignored the warnings of both his mother and old Duncan. Tam went at twilight. The wind was still, but the air seemed heavy, as if the world itself was actually holding its breath with what was about to come. He placed his foot over the edge of the crumbling iron gate, moss muffling his footsteps, and at the far end he found it. The stone, squat, black, half sunken into the earth, untouched by moss or time. He wrenched it free, and the moment it left the soil, well, the wind shrieked. The shadows, oh, they seemed to twist and turn. Tam fled, clutching onto the stone as if it was some kind of prize. That night, he awoke to a faint scratching at his window. The next, to whispers. They started off in the corner of the room and grew louder. And on the third night, his mother found him screaming, pointing towards the ceiling, where he swore he saw a face. He claimed it was watching him from the rafters. His eyes sank, his hands trembled, and no fire seemed to warm him. Duncan returned to the croft. After hearing of Tam's afflictions, he sat beside the boy's bed, his brow furrowed. "Ah, laddie, you've done it now. You've stirred up the restless," he said. "That stone wasn't just no marker. It was a seal, something that was meant to bide buried." Under Duncan's guidance, the travellers prepared a ritual, something half forgotten from the old ways. A round circle was laid with iron nails, and at each point, Tam was placed within it. Duncan read the old words, not written in any books, but it was enough. That night, the spirit came. It was not a ghost in a common sense that we know ghosts. No, it was something colder, something evil. A woman in burial white, her eyes dark voids. Her mouth was full of earth. Oh, her fingers had been blackened by the grave. She hovered there, just at the threshold. And then she began moaning. And her moans then turned into rage. "Return what is mine," she hissed, "or he comes with me." And she pointed to young Tam. The next morning, Duncan led Tam back to the graveyard. Tam's feet were bleeding, but he walked. The grave where the stone had been, now a massive gaping hole, open, like the soil rejected it, as if it was clawing to be made whole again. Duncan placed the stone back, whispering prayers in both Gaelic and cant. Tam poured milk and salt into the grave, a gesture of appeasement. Then Duncan marked the ground with rowan ash and blood from his very own hand. The earth groaned, and then silence. Tam recovered. Slowly, but he recovered. He would never again enter that graveyard, or any graveyard for that matter. His hair greyed early. Some said he spoke to shadows in his sleep. But he lived, and he passed the tale to his son, who passed it to his, and Duncan passed it to ours. And until this day, it has been told around fires near Inverbrannan. You see, the black stone still remains there. Nae name upon it, and nae one tends to it. But we all know the dead, well, they only ask for rest. Deny them that, and they will take what is owed. I am the Highland Scribe, scribe to the stones, to the winds, to the bloodlines that walk unseen, and until the fire lights again. Sleep tight, wanderers.